Stop is the question. What would I do if I wasn't?
So we're soft live right now.
All right.
So you said soft live means people can see us or they can't?
People can see us.
Oh.
We're just kind of killing time.
Cool.
Branding.
Cool. Soft live right now.
Oh, we got some. Which one do we use? I think we'll use this one. There we go. And then where's the banners? There it is. Yeah, no. We lucked out on that weather. I was very happy that it wasn't cold because Battle Hill in early February is like minus 15 on day one, and it was like minus 10 the day after, but it was windier. So
that's rough.
It was rough. It was. My poor little diesel heater was working hard, man. Must have burnt.
Just a quick sound check. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad? Okay, good. Perfect.
Not bad. Yeah. Did you have a good match, Thomas?
Yeah. It was fun. Had some technical difficulty with my
equipment. Oh, that's right. But, yeah. That's right. You had some field expedient gunsmithing there.
Yeah. Well, apparently nothing a rat tail file couldn't fix. So far so good. I was actually out at the range this afternoon with my boys, and I was just trying to, be really rough with it to see if I could make it fail. So far so good. So we'll see.
Okay. So far so good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then are you somewhere this weekend? Are you shooting this weekend?
No. So this weekend, actually, there's a ORPS this weekend.
Okay.
But Pascal will be taking the lead. I have to spend some time, family time.
Nice.
So that I can be away the following one. I think a whole bunch of us are going to New York. So
I completely understand. That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah, I'm actually taking my wife with me to the east in June when we do the New Brunswick and Nova Scotia events. So that'll be good. She'll have to entertain herself on the weekends, but the rest of the week is ours to roam around.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, we did that last year, and then we had a hurricane roll through. Like on our last weekend there, we actually had to cancel the 2-day championship there.
Oh yes, I remember that actually.
Yeah. So,
all right,
but the Sunday was fine, but we had no power. We was no shape. Perfect. So let me get this kicked off. Stand by, guys. Let's pick this one. Hey, shooters. Welcome to the Rimfire Nation Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8. We sit down with CRPS rookie Alex Richard, also known for his Affordable Optics and Rifles channel on YouTube. We got Mr. Thomas G, the G-Man. Everyone is excited for the season opener. I'm excited. Yes. Hope you guys are excited. So welcome, gents. Before we get to the topic at hand, let us take a look at what is new at Tesro. Let's take a look. Where are you? Just arrived page. Let's see what we got. Just arrived. 1 second. Where's my screen? There it is. Let's go page what I was browsing before. So the big thing. I don't know have you guys tried the SNV 22 long range Canadian match ammo yet?
I have spoken to quite a few people that have really good luck with it.
It is not bad. Yeah. It is a great value for $60 for a box of 500. That is not bad.
I see a lot of guys shooting it at our ORPS and our sort of longer club level matches. As a way to save some of your
for sure
tested and true match stash, but it performs really well.
For a case, $600 for a case, that's not bad, right?
And it's pretty zippy. It flirts with, if not passes the
high velocity. It's just
high
on the
velocity,
edge.
Yeah, I don't know. Depending on the gun, like from my gun, it shoots about the same thing as my Ely, which is always a little hot if you compare it to SK, for example. So
which Ely are you shooting?
Contact and match.
Okay,
depending on the event.
Nice. Now I've started seeing RWS ammo on his site as well, and he's even got a sampler pack for RWS, so that could be interesting. I've never shot any of the RWS. Well, being Ely sponsored, we don't get a chance to shoot much other brands, but certainly it's an option for those that are looking for
that gold box there.
And any
well, I tried it when I was still shooting my Savage.
Okay.
It was not worth the price for the Savage.
And there's this
try to get at some point.
There's Gecko 22. I mean, it's hard to, because you have your choice of S&B at $60 for 500. Then you've got your regular match. It's hard to want to squeeze something in between that price point, right? That is not going to work any better than S&B or nowhere even close to what you're shooting on the upper end. So that might be worth a shot for those that are looking for, who haven't found their round yet. So, Alex, what ammo were you shooting at the match?
So, I just brought some CCI standard velocity. I was actually very ill prepared. I found out about the match, I think it was like a day or two right before the match. And I was super busy, but I knew I was free on that day. So yeah, I just winged it.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about Rimfire matches is you can just decide almost the day of or the day before and say, you know what?
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful day. I've got ammo when we shoot. And for us, when we start testing a new rifle, we start with CCI standard velocity because it works well in most rifles. In fact, for all of our loaner guns, we'll shoot CCI standard velocity as the match ammo because it's so reliable and so consistent enough. Yeah. At least you're at that point in your illustrious career. It's not the ammo holding you back. As long as it fires and ejects, that's the most important thing. So good.
The boys went through a break of it this afternoon. I put a red dot on the Graybridge 1022, and they just
nice.
Had fun with it.
See, the challenge is, if they ever get into centerfire, Thomas, you're gonna have to rein them in because it's like in centerfire dollars, that's like $1,000, right?
Yeah, that's all right. Who needs to go to school after all?
$2 a pop. Yeah, School of Hard Knocks. School of Hard Knocks. So, well, welcome, Alex. Thanks for coming on. I wanted to get a rookie, a brand new competitor, just almost off the street, right? Just I have a rifle, I have ammo, sighted and optic, and so did you have friends at the match, or how did you hear about the past match at Stittsville there?
This match?
Yeah, this match.
So I have an online store. I started selling at optics, and so I have the option that you can either show up at my place and see it in person, compare with some of the other optics, and one of the people purchasing the optic told me that there was a match in Stittsville, and I was like, damn it, I'd like to go. And he's like, I don't even have that much experience either. You'll have fun. It'll be great. And I'm like, never gone to a match before. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I signed up for the match, and
it was like drinking from a fire hose, or I guess so. So you showed up, you checked in, and then you got the course of fire, I guess, 2 days before, right?
Yeah.
Did you look through it? What was your prep like?
I looked at it at about 1 a.m. the night before.
Okay.
I kind of saw the email come in, and I don't really read emails, and until the same person who told me about the match, he's like, "Hey, did you read the course of fire?" And I'm like, "The what?" And he's like, it's exactly what the match is going to be. And I'm like, so I can prepare in advance? And so, nice. Yeah, I'm on literally as I'm driving, I get my, I think I was using the Hornady app to figure out my dope, because I haven't done any distance shooting for 22 other than at 50 yards and 100. So I was thinking, I knew that this was going to go beyond that. And I'm like, I have zero clue beyond, at 100 yards, it's 2 mils, and at 50, it's 0. So
All right.
everything was done the very last minute.
Nice. Perfect.
Cool.
So it's doable.
Oh, yeah. It's doable. And what surprised me, so most people at this match have like rigs that are over, I'd say probably around over $3,000 rigs.
Oh, more.
I mean, I was going to say most, because I mean, some people, I don't know, you have an IBI barrel, you got the CZ Action, which I mean, 70% of the people had, and then you have an MDT chassis, or there was lots of other kinds of chassis. Yeah, the price does skyrocket. The minute you got an MDT chassis, there's $1,800 right there.
Yeah.
So mine was just
$1,800, but yeah, in today's dollars, yes.
Yeah. And I showed up with my CZ 457 Match in the plain Jane style, the plain Jane version. No upgrades other than the trigger, and that's it. I probably had one of the most entryest level rigs there.
But it shoots. It shoots.
Yeah, it's a force to be reckoned with. The CZ 457 MTR is all you need, really. The rest is just luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I was surprised. I did not place last. I was fully like prepared mentally that, you know what, I'm going to go there and I'm going to suck. I'm willing to be in the last 10% place, but somehow I managed to get 13th place out of
that's awesome.
Out of 24.
That's pretty good. You're almost mid pack there.
And in one of the which one is it? Let's go find it. I was very proud of myself. I got 4th place, and I was just underneath Matt Huey.
Nice. There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's the advice I want all new competitors to come out. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. If you've never shot a PRS or a Rimfire match, assume you're good. I mean, the stages are set up typically, a typical match for a brand new shooter, brand new competitor, you're going to get 1 or 2 hits. Expect a hit percentage of 15, maybe 20%, maybe. That's roughly what a new competitor. We caution people. Don't feel bad if you only hit 1. You're doing great because you're walking into a series that's now 5-6 years in development, right? I mean, look at the rigs. When we first started, Savage Mark II and a Ruger 1022 were the hot tickets. If you had a Magpul X22 stock, you were the guy, right? And a Viper PST2, right?
I don't think anybody had a Ruger 1022 at the event. Everybody was running a bolt action.
Yeah, not on that event. There was no semi-autos. The day before, we had the TacSol Top Shot Challenge, and probably 70% of them had 1022 action, which means it took a 1022 mag. There were no stock 1022s the day before.
Wow.
All were modified or
that's the best part of 1022s,
is
to pimp them out,
Yeah. And you had $5,000-$6,000 rigs 1022s. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Well, anyway, bravo for just jumping in, because
it's awesome. I mean that's why the series was started up to have guys like you come out and just try it out and see what their thoughts were on it.
Yeah.
Now, had you done any positional shooting at all in the past?
Yes. So, I mean, I have a range. I mean, it's not mine. A farmer lets me use his field. I have my targets out there pretty much in permanence. And I have my own barricades that nothing quite as nice as what you got, but, some tires, some truck tires that I use, some pallets that are kind of retrofitted, and that I use in my videos. So I kind of have some idea and kind of what I was doing to keep myself somewhat stable. So this is probably what gave me a slight advantage over a full-on new shooter for positions anyway.
Nice.
But that tube you have on a 45 degree totally screwed me. I think I was second to last place on that one. I just couldn't. In my mind, like before I went, I'm like, I got this. I'm going to 100% be able to get this thing stabilized. I was thinking, I'm just going to grab the pole like this and then have the bag rest on my hand, place the gun on, and it won't be able to move. Like in my mind, this is 100% like it's foolproof. And no way, this thing starts to slide, and I'm like trying to follow with it, and I'm like, no, this is not going to work. I think I got 1 hit, and everything else was misses on that one stage. So, Yeah, I'll have to like build my own one just like that, just so I can practice.
Let's see if I can get a picture of
That
it.
was a tricky one for sure.
Oh man.
And it's the first time we've ever had an incline pole at a CRPS match that I've run. I don't recall anyone. And that's the thing is people kind of get used to the standard setups.
Yeah.
And so it was time to kind of throw in something different for
each squad needed someone with a sticky game changer or something to that, of that style with the rubber underneath. So then it just kind of sticks where it is. But even that, I mean, I couldn't quite get stable. The slope was pretty good that you have on there. So
it was perfect. Your misery feeds me. Oh, try shooting off an exhaust off a Dodge. So this goes back to this was at Medicine Hat. So I take a 2005. Well, I used to take a 2005 Dodge Dakota cross country at a trailer, and somewhere in northern Ontario, my muffler fell off, and we were just standing in the parking lot. I was whining about my muffler, and we usually have a hanging tire prop that you'd shoot off a hanging tire. Okay. And then I think it was Mike Heineck that suggested, hey, why don't we just tie that muffler on instead of the tire and shoot off that? So you've got a number of different, I don't think I've got a picture of that, but you had the tailpipe, you had the muffler itself, you had brackets. It was actually pretty interesting as a prop to shoot off of. I mean, basically it was just a big pendulum that you're shooting off of with a couple of holes. The tricky part was you had to find 2 or 3 different spots to shoot off of. Oh yeah. And Steve Knox. Yeah. So it was a good time. It toured across Canada that summer. I think I've still got it in my garage. We'll see. So did you have a favorite stage, Alex?
Okay, so the one with the side steps on the opposite side of that 45-degree tube.
Yeah.
That one, because that's a lot more like what I practice at home.
Okay.
I did a lot better, so I guess that would probably be considered one of my favorites. Oh, actually, you know what? I do a lot of shooting standing, so that one I had a pretty good time. I think I got one of my best scores there.
That's a weak spot for most of us, really.
Yeah, so I noticed the shoot the target standing, and then you go down to prone and shoot it prone, and you back up. So this was a five target silhouette array where you'd have to engage each target from left to right, one standing, one prone, and basically just doing burpees for that whole stage.
Yeah.
And did you run out of time, or you didn't run out of time?
No, I think I got all the targets on that one, and I had time.
Nice.
That one and the find your limits target, I was pretty good on that one, which I was very surprised because, I mean, I know my rifle does well enough with CCI standard velocity, but I didn't think I could hit that last one. But somehow, almost every time without fail, it would just fling them up. So
right. So the find your limits, for those who don't know, is it's another array of targets. It goes from 5 inches, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 inches, and you shoot it in descending order from size. You can only move to the next smaller one if you've hit the current one, and then when you get to the end, you just keep sending rounds to the 1 inch one.
Yeah, and that find your limits one, that's where I got my 4th place.
Nice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And with a fairly stock CZ as well, right?
Yeah. I got the Yo Dave trigger spring in it. Other than that, fully stock.
Which is basically just a spring.
Yeah. But you know what?
He's a genius.
The factory CZ trigger, I did not like. I felt like you couldn't, it just wouldn't break nearly as cleanly. And with the Yo Dave, it's like, wow, night and day. Like that's all it needed.
And who else? Who are the top 3 in that? Who was above you in that stage?
The top for this one was Thomas Gourjean.
Oh, hey, Thomas. That's him.
Nice. What are you running, Thomas?
I have a Ultimatum Deuce.
Oh, okay.
With a Razor Gen 3?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we have Jeff Graves, then Matthew Huey, then myself.
Nice. Yeah, Jeff.
Which one was this? I don't feel like I came on top on very many stages.
Find your limits.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
What was Jeff running?
I did all right with that one.
I'm trying to remember what Jeff has the distinction of having the most expensive Ruger SR22.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot that one anymore. It's he's got a Voodoo.
He brought it to the day before at
yes.
X22, and it shit the bed royally.
Really?
He actually he abandoned. He DNF'd, and he ended up being an RO for the morning. I felt bad.
I'm surprised because that thing has always been a laser for him.
I know. It just wouldn't cycle or wouldn't extract. It was a feeding or extraction issue, and that thing is one of the most beautiful. It's got kid everything in there. It's amazing.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I've yet to upgrade a Ruger 1022 to any level. I have the TC22 and I have the Ruger 1022, and they're literally the most plain versions you can get.
Didn't you have a TC22, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For actually, I bought it for my son because he's pretty small. At the time, he was a pretty small little guy. The idea was to get him to shoot ORPS with it, and I don't know what happened. Nice. I sold it pretty quickly.
Oh.
Couldn't find mags for it, and I refused to use the 1022 mags because then the bolt wouldn't. That's what it was.
Hold open.
It will hold open on last round.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
but the TC22 magazine, when you use their own mags for the last round bolt hold open, you can't release that mag. Like mine, I literally don't even use it because I go to drop the mag and it just stays stuck, and I have to hold the mag and press the button, and I just pound the side of the receiver for it to drop. So I just use regular 1022 mags just so that they're droppable.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the optics used. A couple of Night Forces. There's some high dollar. There's some high dollar stuff.
Gear list in front of you.
Yeah, I got the gear list. I'm processing the gear list for Battle Hill right now. There's 10 Apex rivals on the line.
Jeez,
Apex are doing well.
They're doing very well. Yeah, Carly and Vanya are just hitting home runs.
Yeah,
they're doing everything right.
Can't wait to put my hands on the binos.
There you go. I can't. Yeah, hang on.
Don't tell me you have them.
No, I don't. I just have to close my door.
I was gonna drive to your place. I'll be there in 2 hours.
That's the beautiful. This is like the last year and a bit. There have been so many great optics, and we'll talk about affordable optics after, Alex.
Yeah,
I'd like to pick your brain, but it's there's never been a better year to want so much content for under $700, right? First focal plate, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do. The competition reticles that are available.
Yeah.
Big nice turrets, solid clicks.
Yeah.
All the bells and whistles. Obviously they've got to decontent it, so they'll limit the rotation. You'll get 5 mil or 6 mil out of it instead of 10. What I'd love is to have all of that. Like I'd love to have 15 mil revolutions and.
Oh wow! Yeah, so I mean that's something that I think it was Rimfire users that want. This is what I was talking with other people. They said Rimfire users typically want 10 mils per revolution because the odds are you're going to be going beyond 10 mils.
Yeah.
While I think it was Centerfire users prefer 15 mils because the odds are for a PRS match you're never going to go beyond 15 mils.
Yeah.
Well, I bought a rival. One of the key feature to me was that it has 15. Yeah. So within 15, you can reach 300 yards. There's usually a target that goes beyond that at a match. But what I really liked about it, that I would say maybe is the only drawback so far on my Gen 3, is that dialing with these 15 mils per rev is a lot faster. It's essentially 50% more clicks for the same twist. So if you're going from 3 to 8 to 12, you can zit, zit, zit. You get pretty quick and pretty fast at it. Just look at Matt Huey dial. His which one did he have before? The Minox that did have the 15 mil. So the small subtle things like that, but
makes a difference.
For our guy, there's a good reason to have that 15 mil. However, to be precise, it's easy to skip over a click. So
yeah, and that's all right.
I mean, skipping over clicks, that's typically something. I mean. It can really vary. So I have some of the Arkans and I have the Athlons as well. Like their turrets are very, very sharp and like there's obviously no slop, but they're very sharp to the point that you might skip over a click or two, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Something I kind of noticed on those ones.
Yeah, and it can vary from sample to sample as well. I noticed because we see a lot of Athlon. Well, last year we were demoing all of the Athlon line on our Savage demo rifles. Yep, and then the one I like right now is that Razor Gen 3. Those turrets are, for me, like it just feels great. It just feels great. Yeah, I think they got a home run with that one. I mean, you pay for it. I mean, what's the list on that? Over $6,000?
Yeah, that's the Canadian MSRP. I think market is more 44,000 and change, 4,100, 4,200, something like that.
Yeah, that's on the upper end.
Oh yeah,
it's on the upper end.
Well, it's a long way from my Diamondback.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Have you looked through a Diamondback recently, Thomas?
No, I sold all of them. I had 2 at some point.
So let's get back to the match, Alex. So what did you have any preconceived notions going on what it was going to be like? You know, what the squads are going to be like? Did you have any inkling of what the day was going to feel like?
I didn't really have too much of an. I mean, I guess the stages, I kind of had an idea they were going to be something like that. I didn't realize there'd be so many stages, which I mean, I think is actually a really great thing. There was total, I think, of 10 stages, which,
correct,
it keeps you busy throughout. I think we started at 9 o'clock and we finished around almost 2.
Yeah.
So really fills your day quite nicely. And yeah. And in terms of, I guess, the group sizing, I didn't have any idea that's how it was done. I honestly thought it would be you watching every stage one by one as 24 people rolled through one, and then we would go to the next one.
Yeah.
Instead, I found myself spotting for hits and stuff, and I'm like, geez, now the responsibility is on me to make sure I don't not observe that slight hit on that steel, because some of my hits on steel, I'm at probably about 15 or 20 magnification, and I barely saw it move. It just gave a little wiggle like that, and I'm like, ooh. Well, I mean, I wonder if they can even. I wonder if he even saw that. And they're like, oh yeah, I counted it. It just moved like a hair, and I'm like, yeah,
that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Yeah. So what you got to do though? Start hitting up in the middle of the target, Alex.
Well, I got to start on the left and work my way to the right.
Well, you had Stittsville has the worst winds, almost the worst winds in the country. So there's 3 really bad wind areas. There's Warren Field, which is out in Mount Bridges. There's Stittsville, because it's very deceptive, because you've got the baffles behind you, you've got the benches behind you, so you feel nothing. And in the winter, there's no telltale signs of anything moving down there, but it's swirly, twirly, and it's impossible. And then the other one is
going on match day. That's all.
Yeah, the other one is Medicine Hat is no actually anything in southern Alberta. They've got the worst winds.
Add Avonmore to that stupid switchy tailwind. It just goes like this all day long. There's no way to make sense of it.
That's it. That's the game though, right?
Yeah,
Kamloops is bad as well.
Somehow, I guess Greg agrees with me.
Everyone's got there, but that's the game. So the more you can react to, sometimes it's not reading it, because you can't read it. You just got to react to it. Say, okay, what's the adage? You never miss the same way twice.
Or be real lucky and just happen to be on the firing line when things die up.
Yeah,
that's another way. That's how I win. That's how I end up winning one every once in a while.
Yeah, and really that's the biggest advantage of high end optics, is being able to see your misses. I remember when I used to use kind of the more affordable optics, I had no idea. I couldn't see anything, but that first time I stepped up to a $2,000 optic or even a $1,500 optic, and I saw my bullets going just over the left of it, I said, "Oh man, this is a game changer." And for me that's the real advantage of great optics is, and you don't have to spend a crap ton of money. You don't have to spend the 5 or 6s, but that 1 or 2 levels away from where you are now typically is like you've got the Venoms, you've got the Helos, you've got the I think I haven't shot an SH4 and EP5 in a match yet, so I can't really speak to that. But that next level up is a game changer for a lot of people.
What scope were you running this weekend, Alex?
So I was running the Discovery ED PRS 525 by 56. So it's it's very similar to the Arkans in terms of specifications. 32 mils of internal adjustment, 10 mils per revolution, zero stop that doesn't limit the amount of internal adjustment. It's very much an entry level PRS kind of optic.
It's pretty amazing to have all of that at an entry level price.
Yeah.
And what's the price point? Is it around $700?
No, 560 Canadian retail.
Holy crap!
Oh my gosh, that's a deal. Yeah. Actually, so as a way to kind of fund my my channel and keep my channel going and growing, so I can do more quality content that people want to see, I found out kind of about this, I guess, opportunity and this kind of gap in the Canadian market. There wasn't too much at that price that has all those features. Like prior, I guess 2 years ago, we had the Vortex Diamondback Tactical, right? That's I think actually $560, and it has 65 MOAs worth of internal adjustment. I don't know what it is in mils. No zero stop, and the glass is okay. Finish is actually decent, but not that amount of internal. And I think it has 5 mils per revolution, so kind of limited. Yeah, which is
six.
Terrible to try to do that math on the clock.
I know. I don't think in feet. Like, I guess people who are used to the imperial system are like, no, it's not so bad. You think like half of a foot or half inches.
Yeah.
So basically, you can have something with, I'd say, decent glass for center fire. I mean, it's a little bit. I do a little bit more center fire. I was shooting it. You could shoot this thing around 600, 700 yards and still see your misses. I mean, for 22, it's a little bit of a different beast because it's a smaller projectile. You got to, see slightly smaller things. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, that competes pretty well with the Diamondback Tactical in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
I just checked. It's around just over 600 for the 6-24. Interesting.
And the feature set is quite high. I mean, the zero stop and the amount of internal elevation and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, then again, if we look at how much the industry has pushed, and probably the last maybe like 4 years, ever since like Arkin came into the market, I think the big companies were like, at that price we can leave our Vortex Diamondback Tactical. It's fine, people will make do with it, and they did until Arkin kind of just dominated the industry in the States, and I think they kind of pushed everybody else to go, okay, well, we kind of have to move it on this end, and I think they kind of moved everything up all along the price points.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what gives us, at least the Discovery. The Chinese are manufacturing; they're keeping up with everybody else.
Yeah, I should look through your optic. I didn't get a chance.
Well, we should get one out to you. Also, I'm retailing them on my site. Okay. So
nice.
Yeah.
Because I mean that sits just below the Diamondback Tactical in pricing, but it's pushing up the Venom Strike Eagle level of features. So
yes,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd say definitely Venom.
Yeah, the Venom is
$749
for the 5-25. I mean, it's a pretty solid optic. Vortex Venom 5-25 by 56 with an MRAD reticle for $750. I mean, where was this 4 years ago?
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
I think that's kind of the fault of Arkin, pushing everybody else to, okay, we got to deliver more now. And I think that's pretty much the result of that.
And what's the parallax setting? Is it down to rimfire distances?
I think the Discovery goes to 25.
Okay, perfect.
It's good enough.
Yeah. I'm just looking
we don't shoot anything closer than that anyway. So.
No. Yeah. Not without a red dot. That's awesome. Yeah. So would you come back, Alex, after going through your first match? Is that something you think you'd
Yes, actually I'm going to be looking at your next match. When is your next match? In the, I guess, closer to the Stittsville area?
Asking Rick or asking me?
Anybody. I will go to any match.
So there's one on Sunday at Stittsville.
That's the outlaw
Yeah.
match.
If you sign up to my mailing list, you'll get everything that happens at Stittsville.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a tentative CRPS match on May 7th. I'm waiting for Will to confirm, because we're going to do a Rimfire Competition Academy presented by Vortex Canada on the Saturday, and then we'll do the match on the Sunday. So the Rimfire Competition Academy is kind of the ground school for new or less experienced competitors, and we walk you through the whole setup process, getting your dope, and basically just shooting out at those distances to get your circle of confidence, and then walk you through all of the different wind readings and adjusting ballistics and getting behind the gun and looking how to use bags, pretty much, and then what to do when you miss. And then Greg is saying is Avonmore has got matches on. Avonmore's in the Cornwall area. It'll be in April.
That's pretty close to where you are.
Yeah, I know. That's like 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah. So that's another back-to-back. We've got the Competition Academy on the Saturday, and then the matches on Sunday. And this year, Vortex Canada is covering the registration fees for the Competition Academy for women, and Voodoo is covering the Competition Academy registration fees for men. So it's a free day.
Oh wow,
covered.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty good. We have some amazing sponsors that are. We just have to balance it out. So we just got to make sure we let both sexes have their slots. But
are you focusing on positional only this year? Or are you going through ballistics also?
We're going through the whole ballistics start to finish of how do you set up the rifle? How do you get velocity? What do you and just basically just look at your group sizes. Start thinking about, well, if this is your circle of confidence at 100, at 200, it's going to be twice that. And if you're shooting steel that's 4 inches wide, like we were doing on 200, you're not going to hit all of them, right? In prone. And then we'll do the same thing off a barricade. And then we'll start looking at, well, if you're missing, what is the first thing that you want to look at, right? So fundamentals, trajectory, and wind, FTW, right? That's what we'll go through all that stuff.
Talking about positional shooting, so what magnification were you guys running when you were, doing your positional shooting most of the time?
Yeah, usually we're running 12x.
12x.
It varies 12 to 14. I think it's a personal choice, but the only time we'd go higher is if you're going for paper.
Okay.
We see an X22.
Or the KYL, I'm pretty sure.
A KYL.
I hit 36 for the KYL, but other than that, it was about 12 to 15.
Sometimes, though, because when we teach maple seed, we say, sometimes it's going to back it off because all you do is you're magnifying the wobble zone, and it never settles down. So there's a sweet spot that too much is not good.
I think when I was doing your stage with the burpees when you're standing and shooting, I think at that one I was at 5 magnification.
Okay.
And most of the time, the rest of pretty much every other stage, I was around 10 magnification.
And that's a 50-yard target, so it's pretty close. So maple seed, we say 4 to 6x for the 25 yards. So you're in the zone there. But go iron sight. Someone just asked about how firm the date is for nationals. Nationals is confirmed. We have that date booked. We have the venue booked. The match director is Travis, and he's looking for ways to one up all of the props that he's using.
Nice.
So I was recommending like a Indiana Jones Temple of Doom type or a Star Wars type. I was hoping like May 4th would be like on a Saturday and cold enough. It'd be like the Ice Planet Hoth. We just run through that. But another year. We'll see.
I'm ready for summer to roll in, so please.
Yeah. I can't wait to shoot warm weather. It makes life so much easier.
Just shooting with no gloves would be so nice.
I know.
At this point.
I know. I can't wait. Mind you, remember Avonmore 2 years ago was the hottest I've ever shot. It was like high 30s. It was brutal, maybe even 40. But well, it was a fun match. It's challenging because when you only have 200 yards and you're kind of boxed in, you only have so much to play with. So as a match director, you want to make it interesting, but you don't want to put way too many targets downrange. All you get is target confusion. So that's kind of like the balancing point.
That's probably something I kind of felt. So, I mean, I've never been to a match, and then there's like, I get there and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to know which one is for this stage.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying to go first, and I'm like, and then the one at 150, and I'm thinking, well, that one looks like it could be 125 or 150, and I'm not that good at gauging distance.
Yeah, I actually engaged one of the Pepsi can in the wrong order because I misjudged which one was behind and which one was in front.
Well, we had so part of the prep that you've got to do is the pre-visualization, and that's why we always say, you know, bring a pair of binos that are roughly the same as the magnification you're going to run on your optic, and then you're looking for, that's the sight picture of the gopher, and you're looking at the coloration of it, because the Pepsi cans alternated in color, so each one was different. So Pepsi can one was blue, the second one was orange, next one was blue, then it was red, or so we tried to. We tried to at least give some pattern recognition, or usually we'll change shapes, but we didn't have enough small size things.
But find line marks, right? That I remember having a hard time finding the gopher that was on the far left, which was basically there was no paint left on it, and it lined up perfectly with a backer that was in the back.
So you have to kind of
lean basically over. Like yellowish on plywood color. Anyway, to me it was invisible, but I knew that if I had that small IPSC in my field of view, it was just behind.
Right. That's it.
Right? So.
Yeah. And if we had more time, we'd have marked off the first target. Some match directors are numbering the targets now.
Oh,
so
wow.
They have a
placard.
12 by 12 placard. So stage 1, target 1. I think now, Travis does that.
The placard I have the placard quite often draw my eye. And I'd be lying if I didn't put a few holes in some placards instead of the targets. Whoops, that's not what I'm supposed to shoot at.
Please don't shoot the placards. And that's all part of it. I mean, that's the thing. So, not being able to find your target when you're about to shoot it is one of the things that separates the newer shooters from the experienced shooters.
Yeah.
And how do you keep track of, especially when you've got a pattern. It's near to far, far to near, near to far. It's small, big. Those you got to figure out how you're going to talk to yourself.
Yeah, actually, that's on one of the stages. You had a 4-inch square. Right beside you had the 8-inch square, and then that was at I think 150, and then you had the same thing in opposite at the 200. And the way I was memorizing it, I'm like, all right, it's siguru, and then I'm just gonna.
That's a good one.
That's it.
And that's how I memorized it, and that's how it worked out.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
An interesting challenge. Obviously, I shoot quite a bit at Stittsville, which is a nice flat range, very square. There's a range that I've had a chance to shoot at a couple times in Pennsylvania, but the firing point is essentially elevated, and the field kind of goes down. Ooh. And I find myself having the hardest time because. At Stittsville, I've shot there enough that if I point my gun and I get on behind it, I'm on target or pretty close, right? But at this particular range, I'm always overshooting the target. So I get in there and then I have to sort of tell myself, okay, go move down, and it's a struggle.
Wild.
So yeah, little things like that. Or there's another place we shoot at where everything is, going uphill. I find adjusting for uphill a little bit easier than anything that's downhill from you.
So like for downhill, if you're shooting just a little bit low of the target, it can look similar to if you're shooting over the target and it landing in what looks like the same spot. Like where I shoot long range here, I was having that same issue because it's on a very gradual, slight downward slope. And I take my first shot. I'm like, all right, looks like a miss. I like a little bit low. Dial up a bit more. Still looks like it's low. I'm thinking like, okay, am I going way over, or is my load so off that it's just like going back in the same spot? Like, what's going on? And then at some point, okay, I don't even see a miss, and I'm like, okay, this is just frustrating. But, I know exactly what you mean for this. It's so important to have like the perfect, like I guess, land for long range shooting. And something at the match that I noticed is the targets are all high. They were like around 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
While like whenever I'm shooting, my target's usually right on the ground. So
nice.
you shoot low, well, you shot low. Whereas if at the match you shoot low and you're like, I don't know where it went. Yeah. You shoot right, I don't know where
it went. Right or above, below, who knows, right?
Exactly. So yeah, you got to make sure your dope is very close or bang on.
And with the snow, there was basically no feedback.
Yeah.
So really, it's all about if you manage to catch a glimpse of your bullet on the way there, and then you sort of have to extrapolate. Okay, if it, it looked like it was trending right at the target, but was it below? Was it above? Who knows?
Yeah,
tricky for sure. Someone says we use a color small cones for each of the stages. That's really nice. That's
that's a great idea.
Yeah. It's Jesse. Yeah,
many of those ideas. The guys at Stittsville are going to start asking for placards or something. We never did.
Nah.
But what was great is, you were mentioning, Rick, that you're going to do a pre-match day for the new shooters. Well, even in the match, we have the stealth category, which is what I signed up for. And I mean, Rust, one of the competitors, he's like, well, you're in stealth. I can coach you through the entire match. And I'm like, this is a relief because, I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I'm jumping in something I don't really know how I'm going to do. And then it's just, okay, do this and do that. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, we try to publicize this. We just got to do a better job of doing it. But there is coaching available. We always have like a handful of volunteer mentors that'll take you under their wing and kind of get that you'll reset your turret. What bag you're going to use? You want to try this bag? Put this knee up. Put the other knee down. Yeah, tuck this under your elbow. Now just take a look. Which one's going to be first? Which one's going to be second? And then even if they see you missing, they can say, you're low and left. Right, it doesn't matter. The goal is to get you leaving that stage with a smile or two on your face after making a hit. So it doesn't always happen, but that's the objective, is to have fun. I mean, the reason why we started it was just to bring back the fun days of plinking when you were kids. Take an air rifle or a bunch of shells and just come back when you're out of ammo, right? Or it's dark or the porch light's on, And that's so far so good. I mean, I don't know if you got a sense of the community that's out there, but it's just a laid back, great way to spend the day.
But building up on what you're saying, and one of the reasons why I said, kudos for just jumping in, because as a guy who hosts matches, I get a lot of people sending me an email saying, hey, I'm thinking about this. And then a couple of weeks later, hey, I got this rifle. I'm going to practice with it at the range. This conversation goes on for months and months and months. And I'm like, just sign up. You'll be fine.
Just do it. Yeah.
And as Greg was saying, like, don't buy stuff first. I mean, of course, have your rifle. Actually, even if you don't have a rifle, I'll find you one. But, get your rifle, get the basics. But after that, just come to the match. You don't need bags. There's lots of them on the line. And you can pretty much borrow anybody's stuff. I mean, asking, obviously. And if you can't, don't worry. I've got some for you. It's the community is just like that. There's really and you get the benefit of trying. There's so many things to choose from. You can try a few and then decide which one works for you, right? So
it's a lot of fun. And that's
sign up for the academy. That stuff. I know you have a lot of gear on the line during those events, so that's a good way to test.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah,
and lots of equipment.
Yeah, this year we'll have all of the Savage lineup. We'll have all of the major custom actions and all of the Vortex line, Minox, Loopold, Athlon. Yeah. So guys can take a look, try it out. We'll have all the bags available also. So that's the thing also, is that you get a chance to try before you buy and see what the difference is, because it's not always apparent. You look at the specs, but sometimes it's just looking through the optic will tell you whether you like it or not for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's one of those subjective things. Just doesn't feel right to me, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else is there? So how can people check out these discovery scopes, Alex? What's the easiest way to connect with you? Or
So I have a website, cdnprecision.com. So
CBN.
Yeah. So like Charlie Delta.
Precision.
Yeah. And I realized after I bought the domain, I'm like, geez, this sounds a lot like EM Precision.
Is that at CDN Precision?
What's that?
That the banner that's rolling now, CDN Precision? Is that spelled right? Can you see
CDN Precision. Yeah, it looks like it's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
.com or .ca?
.com. Yeah. .ca was not available.
Oh, is that right? Oh yeah, Canadian Precision.ca makes sense. They want to stay close. Cool. And then what do you have? What do you sell there? What's available on CDN?
Literally only that one optic at this time.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
I mean, I'm planning on adding a few more things. Probably chassis, but at this time I'm using a website hosting service, Wix, which is the worst. I mean, it's great for setup and getting things going quickly and for edits, but they have no idea. Okay, so I sent them an email because I was thinking, you know what, I want to retail some chassis. Okay, possibly the Wux, Furiosa PRS, and maybe MBT. So I sent them an email. And I said, okay, I guess for context, before this, I know I'm trying to make this not too long a story. So when I first listed the optics for sale on my website, they sold out in about 2 days, like gone.
Oh, wow.
And then they froze my account. They froze my Wix account, my Wix payout. So there's money sitting there waiting to be paid into my business bank account. And they wouldn't tell me why. They sent me an email saying, due to basically like questionable activities, the account has been frozen. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And they're like, please provide the following. The receipt that you purchased these items, proof that you have these items in stock. Send us a picture of these items ready to ship. Send us your Ontario business registration license. Please send us like literally a whole bunch of private business information. And I'm like, you have no business asking. Yeah. And first of all, you don't need to be registered with the province in order to sell stuff. I mean, you can, but
I wonder what their liability and all this really is. Like, it doesn't make much sense, but who knows?
And then I'm thinking, okay, either they think there's fraud because a large or semi-large amount of money came through at once, or they have a problem with what I'm selling. Yeah, because it's firearm related, and they say you can't sell firearms or firearm parts. But a rifle scope is not a firearm part.
Correct.
It's an attachment for a firearm.
Yeah, it's not part of the bang at all, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, so that was the scoop. And I would call every day, and they would give me the call center runaround, like, you just gotta wait. It's probably gonna take a while. I mean, maybe it could take a little while. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, well, is it or isn't it? And they're like, well, I'll escalate the account. I'm like, okay. So every day I'd call for about a week, and I'm just gonna ping the Wix payment people. They're the ones looking at this. And then the last time I called, I'm like, you're going to tell me exactly what's going on, or you're going to transfer me to your supervisor. And they're like, oh, okay. So they transfer to the supervisor, and they're like, okay, so it could be two things. Actually, it is two the things. You hit a threshold where they have to investigate for fraud, just because I hit a number that is high according to them, and because of what you're selling. And I'm like, okay, there you go. You just had to say that in the beginning. Anyway, so they were great. And then, so now, after about 2 weeks of them freezing the account, they've decided what I'm selling is not a firearm or a firearm part. Congratulations, guys. Smart. These people are brilliant. So now back to present. So I want to sell some chassis. And I send them an email because I don't want to list it and then them freeze me again. Yeah. I send them an email saying, if I list this on my website, I send them a link to the MDT XRS chassis, so they know exactly what it is. And I say, and I even put a definition of what a chassis is. It can be in wood. It could be made of aluminum. It could be made of various materials. Right. It is made to hold the lower portion of the firearm. It is not I think I said it was not necessarily a firearm part that facilitated the function of the firearm, but I said exactly what it is. And so this dude replies to me saying that, is this what you are referring to? And he takes a snippet from my website on the last page of me on a barricade, and he circles the scope. And he says, He's like, if this is what you are looking to sell, this is in the prohibited section according to Wix that you are not allowed to sell. And I'm like, this guy's full moron. First of all, a rifle stock and a rifle scope are very different. Yeah. For those of you who don't know who are watching, they are very different. Yeah. And it's like the point is, I took the time to put a definition. And the other point is, they took 2 weeks that they froze my account to decide whether or not a rifle scope is a firearm part. Yeah. So he should be able to see that. This is a lot like in the Lord of the Rings when the Ents, they spend a day figuring out that the hobbits, are they orcs? And they come back, we've decided you are not orcs, Like it's very much like that amount of stupidity.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this.
That's crazy. I guess because you're running on a managed site that you've got to go under scrutiny, I guess.
Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah. Well, we had issues with PayPal way back. Yeah. That you can't do any firearm related business with PayPal. So, and they froze accounts, and you lost your money. They just froze it.
So in Wix's fine print, they actually write that they can, and if they want to, they can freeze the money and return it to the clients.
Oh, right.
So I could sell for $3,000 worth of goods, and they're going to be like, "Well, we just sent all the money back, and we've shut down your account, so you can't go track down your sales and the names and the numbers of these people."
Crazy.
So they can literally do all of that and just leave me completely in the lurch.
Oh man, that would be uncomfortable. Well, I'm sure you'll find a solution.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm just selling the optics, and probably in the summer, I'm going to find another website, kind of host provider, and just move my thing over. It's just right now I want to keep things simple, just because I'm so ridiculously busy. Like I've so much going on. I have a bunch of rifle reviews, bunch of optics reviews, tons that I'm doing.
So for folks that don't know, who are you, Alex?
Oh, I'm Alex.
What do you do?
So my name's Alex. I review primarily precision optics and precision rifles. You can find me at Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many videos do you have on there right now?
I want to say probably around 260 videos and around 7.5 or 7.8 million views.
There. So if you folks are looking to live vicariously through Alex's experience, then Affordable Optics and Rifles is the channel you should go to. Awesome.
Thanks.
So do you keep all those rifles? Do you have
I buy probably, so a lot of people think reviewers, we just get everything for free and we're showered with gold.
Aren't you?
It doesn't work that way. Not really.
Really?
Occasionally you get a free something and you feel like an 8-year-old that just got his birthday present. And you got to make sure you don't do the review in that week, because no matter what it is, it's going to be good. Yeah, so, my reviews come out months after when, that new present thing is totally worn. But sorry, what was the question? I have a goldfish memory.
Who are you?
Who am I?
And you have all these hundreds of rifles in your basement?
Not necessarily hundreds. We won't define the number, but there are many.
You own so you actually own these, or you've bought them and you sell them once you're done with them or something.
I'm not very good at. I mean, the ones I don't like, or the ones that I find sucked, I usually end up selling. And you know what's funny is I'm on Gunpost selling these, and I don't use Affordable Optics as the name on Gunpost. Right. And every time I put something out there, I constantly get, "Hey, are you the Affordable Optics guy?" And I'm like, "How do you know?" And I found out it's because I'm using the same pictures. Without all the writing, like for my thumbnail, I use that as the pictures, and people will they immediately know who I am, and I'm like, shit. And they're like, this one didn't shoot that good. I'm like, yes, it shot 2 MOA at 100 yards, this Howa 1500. And they're like, okay, that's good enough for me. And I'm like, thank God, because it sucks.
There's a buyer out there for every item you want to sell.
Well, most people are very satisfied with, I guess, low deliverables, or they've just been acclimatized to, I don't know, not that good.
Yeah.
And most like I find like at my range, I go there and I see some people running some $7,000 rifles, and they're running the cheapest garbage ammunition you can buy through it.
Right.
And they're getting groups that are like 4 inches. And I'm like, wonder why. Wonder why. So I think for most people, and a lot of it is people are limited to the ranges. Like there around Ottawa, there is not really any ranges that go beyond. I mean, Stittsville has 200 and
300 is the farthest we got. Yeah,
300. The Cornwall Handgun Club is 100.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you have a 2 MOA gun, if you have like a plate that's 4 inches at 300 meters, you're probably gonna get it. Like every time.
Now, Connaught Ranges used to be available for clubs and members.
I heard a whisper this week that maybe things are starting up there. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about trying to get King of 22 Miles paper version out there. That'd be interesting because we we have this is our second year running King of 0.22 miles. It's going to be in Saskatoon again at the Twisted Rooster Ranch, and we have 4 different stages. Basically, it's so those Pepsis that you shot, we take those all the way out to 250 yards.
Okay,
and then we have 12-inch plates that we'll take to 400, and then we've got 1/3 IPSC, which will take I think 350. And then we've got the full size steel, like at the very end at 700 meters, we've got 4x4 sheets of aluminum for rimfire. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So last year, the winner got as far as the 600 meter, but couldn't get to the next level. So it's out of 10 shots, you've got to make 3 hits out of 10. So yeah. So 3 shots, 3 hits, and then you can move to the next target. Yeah. So it's tough spotting. Yeah. King of 2 too. So we looked at Connaught because for us it's hard to find property that gets you to 700, but Connaught Ranges with all the targets and the and the paper, they're used to shooting F class there, so they would be, it could be interesting, and we just keep walking back until so everyone starts off at the 300, right, and then we just walk back another 50. If you don't make 3 hits, then you stay at that level. The succeeding people can move back another 50, and on it goes until you get to the last man standing, which would be cool. So we're gonna try and make it happen. I got to talk to Scott and the boys there to see. Have you shot there before? Either one of you?
Never.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at buying a property with the range. We've actually been looking for a while.
Oh yeah.
And out here, there isn't much, but I'm trying to find something with at least 1 kilometer, at least 1,000 meters in one direction.
And no neighbors.
Yeah, I mean that's the big issue. Like I find some properties, I'm like, oh, it's 750, I can make do. And then I Google Map it, and I'm like, great. There's a neighbor, literally, like not directly behind, but like 15 degrees off, and is slightly behind that little bush of trees. And I'm like, wasted, completely wasted.
Yeah. It's just like that. I mean, guys offer land for us to use all the time. Then send me the pin. We look on the satellite view, and there's just chock full of roads everywhere. It's like trails and farms and barns and so yeah.
I find good. Also, I have a friend who's got a great property, but with neighbors with very low threshold of tolerance. So the minute they hear a crack, they go all crazy. So we'll see. We'll keep looking. Again, we're in it for the long run. So but the King of 22s is a fun, and it's fun for everybody. I mean, we had youth shooters come out last year. And again, it's once you set up, if you got the right dope and you've got the right fundamentals, it's just reading wind. Yeah. And actually, our youth shooter cleaned 2 of the 4 stages, so they got all the way out. So I guess it's a more mental event, less physical, right?
Correct, because it's all shot prone
for PRS, and
it's all shot prone. So you're there. Well, it's on an elevated shooting platform, and it's just you and the wind. So it's a lot of fun. Awesome. All right. Any other thoughts there, Alex? So do you like it? Would you come back?
Oh, I'm going to come back for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
So, I'm going to see how many matches I can kind of squeeze in my summer. It's already passed, but yeah.
And there's also the Northern Rimfire series. They're more in the Southern Ontario and Northern Ontario.
There's a bit of a drive.
Yeah. But that's another great group of guys. A lot of challenging matches, different flavors. That's what's cool about. I try and get other match directors to set up matches because you get a sense of what Rick matches are like, but you don't know what a Travis match is. You don't know what a Ron Sharp match is, or a John Gingrich match, or a Chris Tischler match. They all have their. You all curse them at different points. But they're fun. They're very challenging, and you get to see a lot of that. So if you have the opportunity to travel around, it's pretty good to get that exposure.
It's a ton of fun to
high target counts, really weird. So Chris Tischler had the helicopter stage. Was it last year? 2 years ago? It seems so long ago. But Chris built this wooden helicopter.
Yeah. He built us a
built a lot of
essentially for EOS. No, not EOS. Which one is it? East Elgin.
Yeah. That's right.
Last year, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, shoot out of canoes.
Yeah, all his targets were in cute little like birdhouses. I thought that was kind of neat.
Oh, the rowboat. Yeah. No, it's good. It was good times. Good times. Yep. So the next matches, we have Battle Hill this weekend. It's a doubleheader. We have the CRPS match on Saturday and the Hunter match. Oh, that's another one you got to get into, Alex. The 22 Hunter by Go Big Tactical. They're blind stages. So when you walk up to the stage, you know nothing, but the RO will tell you there's 2 targets between here and here, right? And they are 12-inch gophers, 2 12-inch gophers.
Okay.
And then you got to find them. Then you got to range them, get your dope, and then engage them. Yeah. And
how many shots do you get per target?
8 total. So typically it's 2 shots per target max. So first round hit's worth 2 points. Second round hit is 1, and you don't get a third. And it's an 8-shot max. So it's a formula. So if there's 1 target, it's 4 positions. 2 targets, 2 positions. 1 target, 4 positions, or 4 targets, 1 position. Yep. And then just on it goes, and you're shooting off the natural props, barricades, trees, stumps, rocks, hay bales, whatever the match director can come up with.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's another good one.
It'd be a lot of fun to have one of those at Avonmore, I think.
Yeah, we're talking. There's a couple of folks that have told me that they've got potentially a good property for that. Especially it's armed hiking through a path, right? And we'll just set it up. We'll just put 2 flags down, left and right boundary, and then there's 2 targets out there. Find them, range them, engage them. It's good, yeah. And you can shoot as a solo or as a team. So that's the back-to-back this weekend. So guys will come out and shoot both. And then April, we've got Avonmore. We've got the Competition Academy on Saturday, the 20-something. Can't remember which one. It's on the website, rimfireprecision.ca, under events. And we've got all of them there and all through the summer. And it kicks off from there. I think we're going to have over 25 events across Canada this year. I'll probably end up with 30. So, yeah, looking forward to it. It's winding up. And so we're going to have more in Southern Ontario and more in Eastern Ontario. We're going to try at least have one a month in each region. So, yeah. So Stittsville is going to be pretty busy.
Nice.
Yeah. The cool part is because it's the same guys that shoot it, we got to come up with really challenging props and targetry. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Our sponsor Gongjo Targets on board. We've sent him some preliminary designs of some cool targets, and he hasn't said no yet, so we'll see. Awesome. Any parting words, Alex?
No, I just really appreciate you having me on your channel.
No problem. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for giving us your time. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for shooting the match, and thanks for bringing those affordable optics to the market. I look forward to putting my eyeballs through that. Thomas, thank you very much. Any parting words from you, sir?
Well, a little shout out to Alex. I mean, I don't know if I'm still allowed to say that I'm new to firearms, but I bought my first one about 4 years ago, and I remember your channel was one of the first things that came up.
Really?
Maybe a geolocation, maybe I'm close or something. I don't know, but I remember watching a few of your videos. So that was, that kind of fed the the fever, I say.
Thanks. I appreciate hearing that. Yeah. You know what's funny is if I watch those videos from 4 years ago, I can't. They're all like every video that I watch that is over anything over 6 months. I just cringe at my own videos. It's like, how did I publish this? But somehow people seem to like it, and I'm like, it wasn't the best I could do at that time. And yeah, so
yep, I know.
And Rick, big thank you for bringing the game to Stittsville last weekend. It was kind of nice to be a guest at my own range. And I apologize for not helping more.
Oh, no worries. You know what?
It's kind of cool to just show up.
I know. That's my gift to you, brother.
I'm driving to the range with only my rifle in the back. I'm like, something's weird. Like,
you have so much time. You're standing around talking to people. Like, what's going on? You don't have to. You don't have to.
I can't complain. The group we shoot with, I mean, we've all been shooting together. I don't really call it, it's not my event or anything. I just happen to be the first guy that shows up, but everybody helps. I can't complain, but it's kind of nice to shoot someone else's match. So
that's it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's the least I could do for all you do. It's a lot of work. Very few people understand how much work goes into even just setting up a 5-stage ORPS. It's colossal.
I can imagine it's a ton of time,
and it doesn't stop after the match is over, man. It's like, before, during, and after.
You've been doing it for a while. Also, you got to keep it fresh, so that adds a new component of. I have a lot of help from Pascal, who's taken on the afternoon portion of our matches, and he's nuts with the targets that he cuts I think every month we have new targets.
Yeah.
Your wombats this weekend were pretty cool. But we've had Pac-Man, we've had Halloween theme, Christmas theme, name it. He's done it. So
nice. Yeah,
maybe
I'll collaborate with Pascal next.
Oh, he's got a shed full. Absolutely, give him a call.
Perfect, awesome. Thanks, gents. To all our listeners, all three of you, thanks very much for taking the time and spending your time with us. Look forward to seeing you guys on the firing line. Take it easy. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.